Hi, how are you? I'm Chief of Police Dean Rondo, and welcome back to another segment of Coffee and Connections with the Chief. And to my left is Captain Mark Livy, my trusty executive officer, and to my right is Senior Patrolman Officer Peter Llewellyn, who is also our school resource officer. So happy 4th of July, everybody! And this segment will be talking about some 4th of July activities, along with some other things that will be going on this month at the Wolfeboro Police Department. So we just had our open house. It was very well attended. We had a great turnout. About 200 or 300 people or so came out to the Wolfeboro Police Department. So if you didn't get a chance, we'll be doing it again next year. It's usually the first Saturday before the 4th of July. And this year we had demonstrations from Fire Rescue Department, we had K-9 demonstrations, and some static displays, and of course always free food and free giveaway for the kids. So it's a great time. I want to thank you, all of our vendors that contributed with food donations so we can put this community event on. It was really appreciated. So again, I want to thank all of our vendors who did that. Thank you very much. So with that, I'm now going to turn it over to my captain, who's going to give you a brief status update on operations in the Wolfeboro PD. Captain?
Thanks, Chief. So I'm going to get away from the July 4th. We really hammered that last month and this month, so I'll move on to the inside of what's going on with dispatch and the police department. So Jordan Pello, who's now finished the field training, is on her own. So you'll be hearing her on the phones, and hopefully I can get her down here so you can actually meet her, so you know who you're talking to, so you have a face to have an image of it. So who you're talking to when you call into our dispatch center. There you go. Face to a name. So the highway safety grants for the officers, they're out there. You're going to see them out on all the streets. So be careful. And I really emphasize the distracted driving. I've been doing a few of those every morning, and it's amazing how many operators are actually still using their cell phones and texting and while they're driving. You're going to get a citation. There's no way around that. It's out there. We've pretty much hammered this every month and talked about it, and especially with these grants that are out from the highway safety. We're going to be out there. The officers are going to be out there. We're going to find you if you're using a cell phone, if you're talking on a cell phone, if you're texting on the cell phone. We're going to be out there. So we're going to find you, and you could get a citation for it. So be careful. Don't use it. Use your Bluetooth. Connect it to the, use one of those magnets, connect it to the vents, and use it hands-free. That's why they call it the hands-free law. So what else is going on with the PD? I know we're in the process of hiring 2 new part-timers, Kimberly Hatch and Benjamin Riley. So that's in the process there. So we're just getting all the paperwork done with that. So you'll eventually see them out on the roadway too. So that would be 2 new additions to our police department. Other than that, I'll move it back to the chief, and we'll introduce Officer Pete Llewellyn.
So before I hand the mic off to Senior Patrolman Llewellyn, I just want to talk a couple of more things. I want to emphasize what the captain said about distracted driving. If you're using your cell phone, you're wrong. Okay, don't do it. We don't do it. You shouldn't do it either. It is a violation level offense. The citation amount is fairly high. So, yeah, just don't do it. If you don't have a Bluetooth device equipped in your vehicle, you can buy one for very, very little money. You can get them at Walmart or Best Buy, and they hook right into your cigarette lighter or your vehicle, and they'll help broadcast your cell phone right into your automobile speakers. So there really is no excuse. So if you don't have one of those devices, go purchase one. If you don't know how to use one, get the owner's manual. If your car comes equipped and you don't know how to use it, get your owner's manual and read up on it. It's very simple. Last thing I want to say is that we're moving forward quite speedily with the public safety building project. So for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, let me explain. In the master plan for the town of Wolfeboro, the public safety building is due to start construction, or a new building is due to begin construction in 2022. So we've been planning that out, and there's going to be an information meeting on 25 July at 18:30 at the town hall, and the architects will be briefing the Board of Selectmen in that meeting and discussing the public safety building and the complex and the various options and the cost. And I strongly encourage all residents and citizens to come out and take a look at that. And similarly, if you want a tour of the public safety building, all you need to do is give us a call, either the police department or the fire department, and we'll walk you through. And we'll show you the current public safety building, and we'll point out to you, why we really need this project to be completed. Again, it's due to begin construction in 2022. Informational meeting on 25 July, 18:30. The architects will be there. Please come on out, ask your questions, and the engineers and the architects will be there to answer all of your questions. And that's a very important meeting, and I can't emphasize that enough. So without further ado, I want to turn it over to a consummate professional and someone I'm very proud to call a friend, Senior Patrolman Pete Llewellyn. Pete, here you go.
Thank you, Chief. My name's Pete Llewellyn, and I've been working for the Wolfeboro Police Department, going on 6.5 years now, I think. Actually, I think it'll be 7 in August. I originally grew up in the Manchester area, and family of 5. My family owned a business back there. I decided to move my family to Wolfeboro. I have 5 daughters, beautiful daughters, and a wonderful wife, and decided to move them up to Wolfeboro at about 19 years ago when I changed careers and became a police officer. I've been doing this for a while. As the chief pointed out, I am the school resource officer. I enjoy that role that I play within the school district. I enjoy interacting with kids and youth and trying to help them. I also coach at the middle school level. I've coached 3 sports this year, and I had a great time getting to know the kids and on a different plane than just being a police officer, but also as a human being, because all us police officers are human beings, and so it's nice to see that, for the kids to get to see me out of uniform and understand that I am a person, and that I do a lot of the same things that their parents do with them, I do with my family. With that being said, right now I have my daughter and granddaughter that are home living with us right now, and I'm enjoying that immensely. As far as hobbies that I have and things that I enjoy doing, I enjoy riding my motorcycle, spending time with my dog and my wife, and also playing tennis. I enjoy living in the community. I think Wolfeboro is an awesome community. I raised 3 out of my 5 daughters in it, and it's brought me a lot of, showed me what community pride is, and I've enjoyed being part of the small town of Wolfeboro in comparison to the city that I grew up in. And so that's pretty much it about me. Looking forward to another great summer in Wolfeboro. I'll be on patrol. If you see me out there, please reach out to me, say hello to me. I love it when people do that, and I do spend a lot of time in the downtown area when I can. So please reach out to me. And thank you very much for this opportunity to talk to you.
Yeah, so just one thing regarding Officer Llewellyn. So if you followed our Facebook page, you would notice that he got Coach of the Year for the middle school this year, which is huge. It's, which he's talking about community policing and everything that he does for this community. He's also coaching the schools up there, so that's a great honor. It's a congratulations.
Yeah, 3 sports, and that's absolutely phenomenal. A couple of other things about Senior Patrolman Llewellyn. He's been a long-term Vista mentor, coach, and supervisor, I guess, for the program. And so, for those of you who don't know what Vista is, it's really a program at the high school level where they take actually middle school as well, and where they take the young students out. Get them involved in the great outdoors, hiking, nature, earth science, those types of things, and they gradually build up their endurance, where they then start taking them on hikes through the mountain ranges here in New Hampshire. So when we talk about developing skills that will turn into lifelong recreational hobbies, this is really hugely important, and it's a great program for the state of New Hampshire. It's a great program for the Governor Wentworth Regional School District, and Officer Llewellyn has been involved in that almost since its inception, along with for 16 years, along with our police commissioner Steve Wood, and eventually we'll get him on the show as well. But again, I think that's simply awesome community involvement. And also, Officer Llewellyn serves on a board over in Laconia that deals with assisting families and children in need and so forth and so on. And again, I think that's great, because those programs, even though they may be out of Wolfeboro, affect Wolfeboro residents and help with the local community. So when we talk about community policing and community involvement, look no further than Senior Patrolman Pete Llewellyn, and kind of like an unsung hero of the police department. He also serves as our juvenile prosecution officer as well. And again, so a man of many hats, and you can see just how busy we are and he is within the Wolfeboro Police Department, because I'll tell you, both of those jobs are full-time. They are full-time jobs. And at any one point in time, folks, there's over 2,000 students, faculty, and staff at that Kingswood complex that houses the high school, middle school, and one of our grade schools. So those are huge numbers. 2,000 folks up there between the VOTEC and the high school and the two middle schools. So just keep that in the back of your mind. So having said that, I think this really completes another segment for Coffee and Connections with the Chief. We really do appreciate you tuning in and getting kind of the status update, the inside story, the straight skinny on the Wolfeboro Police Department. And we encourage you to tune in. And we also encourage you to really be part of the show. If you want to come down and be part of the Coffee and Connections with the Chief program, all I need you to do is get in touch with Peter Boujan or Tim at Wolfeboro Community TV. And just email them that you want to come down and with whatever questions you want to ask or whatever topics you want to discuss, just so I have a little background, so I know what we're going to talk about, and then we can have you on the show. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about, issues relevant to the community or to the nation, or you want to talk about literature or poetry, whatever the case may be. Just let us know, and we can entertain your request. So again, I want to thank you for tuning in to Coffee and Connections with the Chief. This is Chief Dean Rondo from the Wolfeboro Police Department. Have a great week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Hi, so welcome back to Coffee and Connections with the Chief. I'm Chief Dean Rondo, and this is your safety tip of the month. So a couple of things I want to talk about. If you just watched our show, you heard my captain, trusty executive officer, Captain Mark Livy, talking about distracted driving and specifically use of cell phones. It's really bad, folks. I don't want you to do that. I want you to use the Bluetooth technology that came equipped in your vehicle, or I want you to go out to Walmart or Best Buy and pick up one of those devices. They're low cost, and use one of those devices. They'll save you quite a bit of money, and it's just simply dangerous, right? It's against the law. Don't do it. It'll get you into an accident or a crash, and it's going to be very expensive. How expensive? First offense is $124. Second offense is $310. Third offense is $620. and then thereon. So please, I'm coming to you with a tear in my eye. Put the cell phone down. Pay attention to the road. And if you want to take a call, make sure you have Bluetooth technology installed. Either use the device that came equipped with your vehicle or purchase one from another vendor. The second issue I want to talk about is speed. We're here in the busy summer months in Wolfeboro. The children are out of school. The wildlife is on the road. I need you folks to really pay attention to your speed. We have our radar trailer deployed. I get emailed when vehicles are exceeding the speed limit. And I see the speeds, and I'll tell you that 74 or 80 in a 30 or 40 mile an hour is just too fast. It is simply too fast. You can't stop fast enough in time to avoid a road hazard. So please watch your speeds. They're just simply right now a little too fast. I need you to bring those speeds back down and stay within compliance. All we're asking is for voluntary compliance with the law. So thank you very much for your cooperation. And again, this is Chief Dean Rondo with the Wolfeboro Police Department. And thank you for tuning in to Coffee and Connections with the Chief. Until next month, I want you to have a great 4th of July. See you soon. Bye-bye. Okay, so hi, I'm Chief Dean Rondo with Coffee and Connections, and welcome back. I've got a couple of my new friends here. I got Ryan on my left, and I got Hayden on my right. They're from Connecticut, the great state of Connecticut. I was stationed in Connecticut for a long time when I was in the service. And they want to talk about some boating laws and recreational laws and four-wheeling laws. So I'll just turn the mic over right now to Hayden. Hayden? Ask away.
What are like the four-wheeling laws for the road up here? Like, can you ride on the road?
So he wants to know a little bit about the four-wheeling laws and OHRV laws, as we would call them, and can you be out on the road? So the answer is, well, yes and no. So let me explain. So you can cross from trailhead to trailhead for up to about 200 feet. You do have to have an OHRV certification or have a driver's license, be over the age of 16, and be certified to drive an OHRV. And of course, you got to wear a helmet, and you got to wear all the obligatory eye protection and so forth and so on. Do you like to four-wheel? Yeah. Where do you go?
Usually down in Connecticut. Like,
okay.
In trails, stuff like that.
Do you four-wheel up here?
No.
Well, we have some unbelievable four-wheeling trails up here, and in fact, do you ride a snowmobile?
No.
Okay, so we have some unbelievable snowmobiling trails up here too. So you need to come back in the wintertime, and I know you got friends and family that are in the area, and but we have some trails now that with the completion of the Bridge Falls Path railroad trail, the old railroad trail. Now you can snowmobile clear up to Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's that's pretty impressive. And then during the wintertime, what you may not know is during the wintertime, we actually build a snowmobile trail right across Route 28 to get onto the lake. So you can get all the way down to the southern portion of the state from the Wolfeboro area. So it's pretty phenomenal. So you should come and take advantage of that, because we have an awful lot to offer in the wintertime up here. There's a lot of great recreational activities. So Ryan, what's your question?
What are the boating laws for up here in New Hampshire?
Sure. So real quick. So we got a lot of questions about recreational laws, and that's great. A few years ago, we just passed a law where you have to have a boating license to operate a boat up here. So you got to be over the age of 16. You have to take a safe boating course, and that applies to everybody. So even an adult has to take a safe boating course. If you take the course offered through Marine Patrol or the U.S. Coast Guard, it's good throughout all 50 states and possessions in the United States. If you take the online course, it's only good in the state of New Hampshire. So I recommend that you take the boating course here from a certified Marine Patrol officer or from somebody in the Coast Guard, and they offer them. They're on the Marine Patrol website. They're trying to think about the organization. It's under the state police, but it's on their website, and the cost is fairly minimal. I don't think it's very expensive at all, and you get a neat little license when you complete that, and the instruction is great. In the state of New Hampshire, this is very important. In the state of New Hampshire, just like the motor vehicle laws, you're considered an adult for all Title 13 laws, which are alcohol, all OHRV laws, right, which is what you just asked about, and all boating laws, and the same thing with aeronautical laws at the age of 16. Which means that if you're 16 years old and you commit an offense in a boat or in a motor vehicle or an aeronautical law violation or an OHRV violation, you go to adult court up here. So it may be a little bit different where you are down in Connecticut. So you don't want to do that up here. So that's kind of a nuance that we have up here. So we take that stuff very seriously. But at the same time, we want you to have fun and enjoy yourself because there's a lot of great recreational activities. Now, do you guys scuba dive at all?
Yeah.
You snorkel? Well, let me tell you something. I'm a diver, right? And I'm a master scuba diver as well as a dive master. And for years, I served on the public safety search and rescue dive team up here. And there's a lot of great wrecks. Some of them are even within snorkeling distance. There's one over at Steamship Island, the old Belknap that went down in a storm during the 1860s, and that shipwreck is still very visible, and you can see it. It's a 96-foot steamship that went down during a hurricane. And but we got a lot of great wrecks. If you're a diver, there's wrecks all over the lake. And way back in the day, the lake was used as a route of commerce. Both in the wintertime, they'd put roads across the ice, and they used to move goods and products from the northern portion of the state to the southern portion of the state. And there were railroad lines on either end, so they'd transport them down and then move them by horse-drawn carriage across the lake to the southern portion, and of course in the summertime they move them by steamship, and then there were, you guys know what a horse barge is? Yes. You know what a horse barge is? It's a horse. Okay, so this is pretty cool. So it's a big barge. I mean big, huge, right? And they'd have horses that were on like a treadmill, and the horses would walk and they would spin this big paddle wheel, and that was a horsepower, so to speak, and that's what would propel the craft from one end of the lake to the other, and they'd use that to move goods and products across the lake in the summertime. So sometimes those barges would go down or ships would go down. And so we have a lot of recreational activity. So if you're a diver up here, there's a lot to see. There's a lot to do. The lake, of course, is a glacial lake, and it's very deep. At some points, over 300 feet deep. So, but if you're a snorkeler, an avid snorkeler, get your folks to take you out to Steamship Island and look for the Belknap. And it's well marked on the maps. You can, if you get any map of the lake, the wreck should be marked right on it, and it's a hoot. It is a hoot. Anything else?
No.
Can't you drive like a 20, or doesn't it have to be like 25 horsepower or lower to not have a license for boating?
Yes, that's correct. If it's less than 25 horsepower, you don't need a boating license, and that's a holdover from years gone by where it was very common to see a 12-year-old in an old what I call a John boat, moving the trash from one of the houses on the island to the dump or something like that. It was very common. So yeah, that's a holdover from those days. But you're very good with that. Yes, you don't need a boating license for that. But for regular watercraft, open boats and so forth, you do. Did I answer your question, Hayden? Any further questions? Okay, sounds good. Hey, I want to thank you too for being on our show. Come on back anytime. You're more than welcome, and please enjoy Wolfeboro. And again, welcome to the area. And thank you very much for joining me, Chief Dean Rondo, with Coffee and Connections. Until next month, have a great day. Thanks. Bye bye.